Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and it is time for my weekly Plan With Me video. It is raining outside, so I don't have my desk lights on for more natural light. It is so dark. I'm doing this in the dark. Okay, it can be done. I'm just letting you know that on your end, it's gonna look fine. On my end, I'm like squinting. Okay, so Monday I drew the skink, and we are finished up with January. We are in February, folks. This is going to be a very fast, quick year. The more you have planned, the more things you do and create, the faster time seems to fly. I did kind of a gliding mammal. I drew on the end papers of my lectern, which was a ton of fun. And then I did this was not part of the drawing challenge, so I'm giving it a little asterisk. I drew a Midori cover. That was my A4. I did a great horned owl. I'll throw a picture up. And then, yeah, no, shoots. Okay, I did that over here. Okay, I will get with the program. Mondays are rough. Midori cover, A4. Here I did my lectern cover. Yeah, I drew a Stegosaurus with the text that says extinct. And then on this one I did my Midori cover, the great horned owl. And then for this one, because this I finished up the entire sketchbook. The 48 pages plus the 2 end papers make it 50 pages. And then I had 2 free floating days. So my Stillman Burn Epsilon, I finished up that cover. That's kind of the 8x10 size. And it's an octopus, and I gave it seagulls flying around it just for fun. So we are going to move into February. Are you ready? I mean, even if you're not, like, February's here. So we've got to kind of embrace it. So here is... Now, for this challenge, I took my roll, my Strathmore 500 series. It's 100% cotton. It's a mixed media paper, so it's a little thinner. But I did a binding, a piano hinge, and I started a couple of the pages from, I want to say 2023. So I am sort of backtracking with what I show people, but I am creating a page a day. So what's going to happen in the end of the month is I'm going to finish probably over a week early. I'm probably going to finish either on the 19th or the 20th. And I'm just going to start my March challenge right away and move into that. So February is going to be kind of wonky, but the sketchbook has sat there for years with a couple pages filled, and I just didn't move back to it. And this is my push to finish all my half-use sketchbooks, and this is one of those that's sort of floating around like that. So I did the cover art, and which has a little plover on it, and then I did sort of the next page, which was Bird 3 Eggs, and again, this is all illustrations from 2023, but I've started, I'm on page, let's see, I did page 4 yesterday, so I'm moving through it, or 5, one of those. Okay, it's a mess, but just know that I'm creating every day, and I'm going to have a whole week where I start March early. But March is sort of a 44-page sketchbook. It's the Midori A5, so as long as I know what I'm doing, and I'm drawing every day, and I'm moving through my challenges, it'll be fine. And then for videos, I did my, let's get the right pens here, people. So this was just a Pilot G2, and this is the Sakura Micron plastic nib. This is sepia. I did the sketchbook tour video of my January art, and this has got to be week 5. Yeah, week 5 video. Today. So because this, I can show you. You want to see? You want an early flip through? I'll give you an early flip through. So this is what was done And this is what was done in 2023. And then I filled this in. This was half finished. And then I've started on this. So it's botanicals, it's birds, it's butterflies, it's a lot of bees. A lot of iteration of the letter B. And yeah, flowers. Nests. I'm going to try and do a deep dive into weird bird nests. And so it's a lot of watercolor, but because it's February, it's winter, it's raining, I'm going to have my blow dryer out. I'm going to try and speed this process along, because yesterday from start to finish, the page took about 4 hours, I want to say. No, let's see. Yeah, 4 hours. So I need to kind of pick that up a little bit, get that a little quicker. So February, how wild is this? Okay, let's move into my next one. Now, I have got to do the January. I gridded this out, so it's 6 months across 2 pages. And again, I'm doing this one-sided because it's so thin, but I wanted to do a monthly recap. So when I go to look back at the year and try and calculate what I've done, it'll be really quick to add up. Let me zoom in just a little bit. You can kind of see, it says monthly overview. It's really, really pale. This is, I've been using the Copic multi-liner. This is the warm gray and 0.5. This is as close to sort of, if you want an ink version of what a lead pencil looks like, this is probably the closest thing I've found. So let's calculate what I did. Oh, let's color coordinate it. Okay, so my sketchbook was orange. So I filled a lecterm, 1917, A6, okay, and it was extinction was my theme. So that was 50 color pencil illustrations. And then I did my Midori A4 cover, and then my Stillman and Byrne Epsilon cover. So I drew 52 things in the month of January. And then for YouTube, I did 8 videos, which is pretty good. We are moving right along, clicking with speed. So that is my January recap. So when I go to add all this up and see like, okay, did I evenly sort of distribute going through my different art supplies, making sure that, so this month colored pencils, this month I'm doing ink and watercolor, this month I'm going to have to spice it up with something else. Maybe I'll do charcoal, maybe I'll do pastel. I want to use up and use all my supplies this year. So this will help me, and then at the end of the year I can calculate really quickly how many videos I did and roughly how many illustrations I did. So that's good. That's very, very good. And then I have my January notes page, and this was sort of where I was keeping track of all the different things, making sure I was trying to cycle through evenly all the animals. My thoughts and feelings for January. Let me do that in brown. I just really, really love sepia. It's such a beautiful color. The themes of extinction. Extinction theme. Because I've never done extinction before. I've done endangered animals before, like critically endangered versus all the way through to threatened species. It was sad. It was sad, and parts of it were hard. Research for the theme was difficult. Thought about doing like a star system, like 1 to 5. How hard was this to research? It was very, very difficult. There are species that nobody has seen since the 1800s, but they've also not declared it extinct. And I will link my sketchbook tour video. I talked about how a country will stamp a year of extinction for a species, but it won't be recognized internationally till later. So I went with the latest date possible. So some species hadn't been seen for hundreds of years, but it took a really long time for them to go, okay, fine, it's extinct. And then there's some things where they've declared extinction, but then a couple people have claimed they've spotted it. So I couldn't draw that either. So there's research was really, really hard. Next time, next challenge, maybe. Let's do it this way. Next challenge, I'm not going to do the same type of extinction thing. I may just stick to dinosaurs. To birds or dinosaurs. Because when you do a dozen drawing challenges a year, chances are you end up doing a lot of the same animals over and over, because I really love animals. So I end up doing a lot of animals. So if the next time I'm going to do it, I'll either just stick to birds, because there were a ton of birds I didn't get to, or just dinosaurs, because obviously there's just thousands of dinosaurs I didn't get to. Another idea, or botanicals. So there are plants that have gone extinct, and I didn't touch on that at all. So for this planner, this will also be not just like a recap or what I've done for the week. It'll also be ideas to feed my motivation and inspiration for future drawing challenges, whether it be this year or in the upcoming years. I can flip back through and go, okay, oh, I do have ideas. So if I go to do botanicals again, extinct botanicals might be something worth leaning into. So gratitude, because that's important. That's an important bit to all this. I finished a sketchbook. From 2021. And that's exciting because it sat on my shelf for a while. My oldest sketchbooks, I made sure to use those up first because I had some old ones from 2017, but I used those up a couple years ago. So I'm really excited about that. Also happy my A4 Midori got a cover. Got a cover. Got some cover art. Because that's been sitting since 2021 as well without anything on it but a post-it. So I'm really happy about that. Those are things I'm very excited about. I think moving forward for my notes page, and I've already done it for January, obviously, and I've done it for February. I've done a delineation line. I think I'm not going to do that for March. I'm just going to leave it a whole page, and then I can have more loose, free-flowing stuff. It doesn't have to be so compartmentalized with the line in half. So, yeah, moving forward. Okay, let's get to going. These are for February notes. Again, see, I drew the line in half. I'm not going to do that for March. All right, so for the week, January 27 to February 2nd. Now, I drew this illustration on the left, so I'm going to do this one on the right, which means I'm going to do my list of things I drew on the left side. I know, I'm trying to make it so it looks like visually interesting. Like even though it has all the pertinent information, I still want it to be like a little fun, a little arty. So I drew a skink. I'm just gonna call this a glider. It reminds me of a sugar glider, but it's like a very descendant of A6 cover. Midori A4 cover. And I have to delineate that because I have a Midori A5 that I'm filling for March. Epsilon. And I will link in the description box paper sizes. I refer to things, how companies sort of size them. My Epsilon I have is a large one. It's like an 8x10. It's very much American standard size. It's not metric system. So I try and use that. So if you're not familiar with the A paper sizes, I will link stuff and you can check it out. So what am I calling this? Strathmore. Strathmore cover. Again, this is the one I made. And then I'm just going to say page 1 on the inside. And then what did I have here? Let me make sure my notes are, okay, week 3 video schedule. Okay, so I had a week 4 video. And then I had my sketchbook tour. Video. Okay, so January 27th to February 2nd was a little busy. All right, this is just a page protector here because this is really, really thin. I'm gonna draw a person. I'm doing portraits because these last 2 challenges have been nothing but animals. Okay, so this is a calligraphy pen. This is by Itoya. It's double-ended. It is a chisel nib. This is meant for calligraphy. I don't care. You know what? Know the rules so you can break them. Do what you want. Live how you want. Have fun with your art supplies. I'm going to draw with it. And the reason I like drawing with this pen, and I've drawn with this pen before on video, is because the black is such a strong, dark value range black. A lot of my black pens, as they go to dry, they tend to look a little bit more gray. And this one really holds on to the black. So I'm excited. And I've been thinking about ways to sort of up, I'm drawing somebody with glasses in case you're wondering. I'm trying to up sort of my challenge here for drawing portraits and stuff. And I've been trying to think of ways to do that. And glasses are a way I can do that. This is going to be very asymmetrical. I'm going to cut a portion off. But if you're into asymmetrical design, the face is not perfectly symmetrical. So I'm kind of for it. Things to incorporate into portraits. And I've been looking at like crowns. I think we're going to have a lot of fun in October for folks that really enjoy Halloween and dressing up. We could do a lot of fun with like masks and portraits and sort of having it look a little bit animal-ish, like including some animal aspects with the portrait. Could be really, really fun. Okay, we've got to include what's going on the inside of this frame. And I think I'm going to make it really abstract. Stay with me. Stay with me on this. We're going to make it really abstract on the inside of the eyeglass frame, and then we're going to add some gold on top. The proverbial we. If you want to draw along with me, I would absolutely love that. If you want to grab your sketchbook and hang out, I would love that too. Yeah, so that's what I've been thinking of, ways to sort of up these sort of weekly planner challenges. And crowns came to mind, interesting jewelry, earrings, things like that, rings if you're including hands. The other thing I was thinking about, and this is sort of interesting to touch on when doing portraits and stuff, is things in the mouth. So think culturally about some of the things you go to do, because I know like gum, like there's some really interesting portraits of people with like a bubblegum bubble in their mouth that hasn't been popped, and that works for some cultures, and some cultures it does not. So some countries and cultures don't put food items in their mouth that they plan on taking back out later because it's not appropriate or it's considered rude and disrespectful to spit things out. I want to say Japan doesn't do that. They have a product called Hi Chew, and it's kind of like a soft, chewy candy that you put in your mouth, and you can chew it a few times, as many times as you want before you swallow it. So it's kind of, I guess it'd be close to a gum alternative without actually being gum. So think about that when you're going to portray things. So if you're doing like, you may see it with anime like Japanese anime characters and they're like a villain or an assassin and they're chewing gum, it's because they're breaking the rules in all the ways. You see what I'm saying? Like, it reiterates and doubles down on the idea that this person is not, they're rude, they're immoral, they're an assassin or something. So keep in mind with your subject matter, like culturally what you're doing, and those are things to think about. I probably should do some sort of tutorial for certain things, and for months that run long or my drawing challenges, maybe we'll do some fun things like that, like portraits with people and understanding different cultures and hairstyles and things in the mouth. The other thing to think about when drawing people and things in the mouth is stuff that could be seen as addictive substances like cigarettes, you know, something they're drinking, if that's a distinct product, that, you know, if it's alcohol or something like that. That's all things to think about. So if you're drawing or something that's maybe geared towards young adults, you know, those are things that you want to highlight that and show that as part of the bad guy image, or is that setting a bad example? Those are things that like occur to my brain when I think about drawing portraits, and I think about ways to sort of up the difficulty level of what I'm doing and try and... I love drawing portraits, and I drew a ton of them last year, but a lot of them are really, really similar. And I kind of want to make sure that I'm not stagnating and I'm still challenging myself. That's what all this is about. Like, keep practicing, keep going to get better, get stronger. That's what I want to do. So if that's something you're interested in too, the research goes into a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about your target audience, think about what you're doing, think about who the product is for. This is my planner, this is for me. So I am making sure I'm doing more folks with glasses this year. This is part of my challenge, because I just didn't do enough of that last year, and I want more of that. So this is how I'm going about it. So the portion that's for me is saying, okay, how do I keep challenging myself? How do I make sure that this isn't getting super boring? It's not boring for you, it's not boring for me. I am constantly still drawing. I am still trying to strengthen my skill sets while keeping it engaging. And am I improving? Am I picking harder and harder, more challenging things, or am I trying to break out of the mold? So by not doing clear-cut eyes and eyelids and eyebrows and some of that stuff, I'm sort of going against the grain here and saying, does this still look like a portrait? Do you still see what there is to see? Do you still see a face in this? If you don't still see a face in this, am I doing this wrong? Is this looking like something else? Do I still need to work? Do I still need to work on things? And the answer is always yes. I still need to work on things. I'll always still need to work on things. But I just want to make sure that with these challenges for myself, that I'm still spicing it up. Because again, I'm going to be painting later for hours. I need to get out my hairdryer to speed along a little bit of that. But it's fun to do these quick little doodles and have these free fun spaces that are less pressure, less stress. It's just fun to have doodle space. You know what I mean? Okay, so we can kind of see that we have a bit of a nose going on, yeah? And we're going to do as much mouth as I can fit on here, but it's going to be very dotty and stipply, I think. And we're going to have the mouth sort of here, fall apart here. Yeah. How much can I show without showing all the things? And I want to do teeth because I never do teeth. I always chicken out on teeth. That's another thing where I'm like, I don't know how to do that, so it doesn't look like they need to see the dentist all the time. This is a really good challenge for me. If this is not at your level, I find a lot of inspiration, a lot of cool ideas on Pinterest. So that is worth checking out. It is free to have an account, start an account, and you can save pins, you can save pictures, you can have reference photo folders where this is like, okay, this seems intermediate, that seems beginner, this seems advanced, and you can create folders for yourself that are labeled as such. And then when you feel like you're getting more comfortable, you're getting to those levels, you can then start doing some of those. You can save things for later. You can find things that are more inclusive. If you want to do folks from all ages, all genders, lack of genders, all cultures. There's some really beautiful things to experiment with of reference photos on Pinterest. I really like that site. Not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't want to be sponsored by anybody. It leads to a bias, whether it be conscious or unconscious. And I don't want to have a bias. I know naturally I do, because some things are sentimental, some things I've just had for years, so I'm kind of biased towards specific products just because I have a longer standing history with them. But I think if I were to receive things or promote specific stuff, it would just create more of a bias, and I don't want to do that. Okay, we're looking properly shocked here. Okay, let's make this weird. You're like, why so weird? I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood to do eyes today. So I'm challenging myself. Like, how little can this look like a person while still looking like a person? I don't know. Mondays are fun. If you are not ready for today, if you're not feeling it, I hear you. I see you. Again, we are in for a very, very wet February. I'm hoping that this weekend is sunny. I want some sunshine. I am part plant. I legit sit in the sun and photosynthesize. I need sun. I need all the sunshine. It feels good. So I'm hoping we get that this weekend. But if not, we get all the rain, and it's good for our plant life here. We have a lot of trees that require a substantial amount of water. We have a lot of ferns. I didn't plant them, they just pop up. Again, I live in a place that's super high humidity. So that presents its own unique set of challenges when trying to create and draw like in the wintertime. It's a very difficult challenge. So with drying and leaving things out and stuff. So it's interesting. I'll put it that way. It's very interesting. Okay. How are we looking? Are we looking like a pair of sunglasses? Okay. And we're looking like a nose. We're looking like lips. Okay. All right. This is sort of my portrait here. Sure we're shaped a little fun here, and lots of rogue dots. We'll soften up those hard lines. Okay, all right, so let's see how black this black is though. I like it. I wish it had a pointy tip, but it doesn't, so we work with what we have. Okay, so this is the Faber-Castell like pop-up cup. I'll link all these products. This is my Brilliant Gold Gouache. And I'm adding water to it because it's dried out, and I use it like a watercolor since I am all out of gold watercolor. But for this 2-week spread, I'm gonna do gold overlay on this one, and then I'll do black again with like a silver overlay. So They go together, but they're separate friends. All right, let's grab a brush that I think won't wreck all the details. I may use two. So for the big parts, I'll use this one. This is a 4 round, and this is a 00, so the 2/0. You can see the difference. This is the 2/0 that I'm shaking, and the 4 round is on the left. These are both the Winsor Newton Cotman. Yeah, let's start with the big. I like their brushes. They're super budget. I have used higher end synthetic brushes. I have used lower end synthetic brushes. And what I have found with the amount I create and how often I create is that brushes don't matter a lot to me. I know, I said it, I'm sorry. I haven't noticed a significant difference with quality of brushes. So, and I apologize for that, because some people really like to promote specific brushes or think that higher end brushes really help. I haven't noticed that. I've noticed a difference with the quality of pigments. I have noticed a difference with the quality of paper. I have noticed a difference with the amount of time I put into a painting and drawing project. I have not noticed a difference in quality of brush. So when it comes to synthetic versus natural hair, they definitely perform way differently. I'm so used to working with synthetic that I prefer it. Again, if you are not into animal products, this portion of this talk is probably moot for you. I find them to be more floppy. They're less structured and rigid. If you don't mind using animal products, then that's not going to be a big deal for you. But I just don't see any need to have the highest priced brush. And maybe it's a difference in handle, like maybe the handles are better quality or something. I don't know. Well, that kind of smeared. That's okay. We'll go with it. We'll add more smears. We'll add more smears. We'll embrace it. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, there's something to be said with budget brushes, and you just don't worry about smashing them as much, and you don't worry about being so precious with them. And so because of that, maybe you're willing to try more things and use them. Sometimes when you spend a lot on a product, you really hesitate to go use it. Because what if you wreck it? Or what if you use it up? Or what if it's not working for you? And you've spent all this money. So I like a budget brush. I do. They last me the same amount of time as an expensive one. All right. We are smeary, we are weird, and it's gonna dry and it's gonna have sparkle. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.